fucked up everything.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to all the non-Muslims watching. You know, as a convert revert to Islam, looking at the world in 2019, it looks kind of strange, man. I know that the lines in between right and wrong have been like blurred. We've got like society pushing out this YOLO. You only live once. There's no consequences. You know, the purpose of life for a man is to be hench, sleep with as much girls as possible, get as much material things as possible. Bro, is the sound, because he's shouting, is the sound cool? So I'm saying, yeah, I don't know, it's strange. In 2019, the lines between right and wrong have kind of been blurred. Like, we got all this technology. We've got like phones, smartphones, and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you know, cars that drive themselves. So we got like good like technology, but morally, I don't know, things are getting mashed up. We've got this trans thing, homosexuality, lesbian, you know what I'm saying? Like, YOLO, the music industry and movies are pushing out this YOLO, you only live once. We're told as men that the purpose of a man's life is about how hench you are, or how many girls you can sleep with, or how many material things you can get by any means necessary. Like, and it's just sad because it's like our role models are just rappers. Like, every music video is the same, even though I don't like listen to any music or so forth, but you see clips on Instagram and so forth. The whole purpose of life is just a man there who's an addict, smoking as much as possible, driving his Land Rovers, girls outside in underwear in the freezing cold in London, on the council estate with a swimming pool and a Land Rover, and the girls in the freezing cold in their underwear and bikini, and life is just about, the more drugs I take, the more men I broke up, the more girls I sleep with, the more material things I got, the more I've made it. And that's why you find relationships are nothing. A girlfriend, quote unquote, and a boyfriend is just based on how hench he is. I go to a club, I see a guy that looks like a rapper. I see a girl that's half naked. They sleep together. The girl gets pregnant. The guy wasn't looking to start a family. He throws his chips in over Vauxhall Bridge. Next week he does the same thing. The girl's pregnant. She has birth, she gives birth to the child. She goes clubbing again after that child's reached of age or leaves it with a babysitter. She meets another guy that looks like a rapper, sleeps with him. You know, either has abortion or has a child, another kid from another man. And we're just following this purpose of life. And I know as a convert or as a revert, you can pretend, yeah? Like, a lot of bad things are only exciting when you haven't done them. So I know as a convert, as a revert, I know what it's like to see these music videos and see the person smoking the weed in a vest and drinking the alcohol and half naked. I know that it looks that it looks exciting. But I also know as someone that was kicked out at 16 or 17 and had a place, been homeless, and then got a place around that age. I know what it's like to have total freedom. And I know you can smoke as much weed as you want. You can wear as much makeup as you want. Yeah, you can go clubbing every weekend or so forth. At first it's exciting. But when the club is there every week, and you can go there every week, and when you can have girls, it's easy to sleep with girls. And when you smoke weed every morning, first thing when you wake up, it becomes dead because it was only exciting because you couldn't do it. So I want to ask you guys, in this very short message, why do you exist? Guys, I want to ask you, why do you exist? Do you really exist to be the henches, smoke the most weed, sleep with the most girls? You know what I'm saying? Go to the most clubs. Is that really, why the sun, the moon, the stars, photosynthesis, evaporation, is that why the world exists? Ask yourself this question. Like, turn YouTube off. Like, turn off your phone, turn off the TV, turn off the music. One thing I realized as a non-Muslim, there was always music in the background. Most people don't really think. That's why so many people become Muslim in jail. Because you've got no distractions, so you actually got time to think. But I'm saying to you at home in your room, or in your house, or in your mum's bedroom, or in your own place, turn the YouTube off, turn the phone off, turn the music off, and ask yourself, do I really exist, to look like a clone of a rapper? Was the sun, the moon, the stars created for me to look like Puff Daddy in a club and dance like a monkey on the weekend? Ask yourself, is the reason why I have eyes and a digestive system and a brain and a spinal cord, and you think and your hand opens and you think in your heart how it goes, you get things in your eyes and your eyelashes, clean it out. Ask yourself. Because as people in London or the West, we're not used to thinking. We're just used to being sheep and following the crowd, go to work, come home, sleep, or hang out on the edge, sell drugs, go to sleep. But ask yourself, do I exist? I don't know who the rappers are now. I don't know who the famous rappers now. But whoever they are now, do I exist to be a Stormzy, a clone of Stormzy, or Giggs, or Skepta, or I don't know, these drill groups? Is that why I exist? To wear a tracksuit like them? To have a haircut like them? To dance in a club like them? To walk like them? To talk like them? And I think if you ask yourself that question on your own, I don't exist to be a clone of Stormzy or Skepta or Section Boys or whoever. I don't know the new names of the people out there. But one thing we can agree is this, is that you will never be this man. You will never be the henches. You will never have the most girls. You will never have the nicest cars and motorbikes. You will never have the most money. There will always be someone above you. So this life of being a grime rapper, you will never be the top. Even in your own gang, you've got youngers and elders. The elders have more than you. And you will never be the top. You may be good looking, but there's someone hencher than you. You may be hench, but someone's got more money than you. You will never be it in all of the categories. But one thing we can agree is that this world is not an accident. If we were too close to the sun, we would burn. If we were too far away, we would freeze. If the Earth didn't have an ozone layer around it, there's hundreds of meteors that come against it every second. If it didn't have an ozone layer that protects it. The fact that we have oxygen, and that oxygen is used up and turned to carbon dioxide. Yeah? And then trees take that oxygen, and there's a whole system that takes it up to the sky and makes it fresh water. There, photosynthesis, evaporation, condensation. We're not like the atheists, we use our brain. Wintertime and summertime are not accidents, so we know something created it. It's not a man. It's not a woman. It's not a statue. We have no idea what it looks like. All we know is that it's something greater. And we would say yes, if you know there's more to life than the bun in the weed and the girls and the nightclub and so forth. That thing that created you, whether you like it or not, whether you care about it or not, it deserves thanks. If you're walking through a door and someone's coming behind you, you hold it open, the person says thank you. If you go around your mum's house, she cooks you a meal and makes you a drink, you could sit down, go around your mum's house, sit down, eat the meal that she slaved over to cook for you. Drink the juice, the beautiful juice that she made for you, and you can walk straight out and slam the door. Your mum, she doesn't deserve thanks. She'd say she doesn't need thanks. Like I said, you could go around to your mum's house, you could sit in her chair, you could eat the meal that she slaved over to make, and drink the drink that she made. And you could walk out, and she's not gonna die, she's not gonna mentally break down. She doesn't need your worship, but she deserves your worship. And just like that person who you hold the door open for and they come behind you, they don't need to thank you, but you deserve to be thanked. And just like your mother doesn't need to be thanked, she deserves to be thanked, the Creator, for your heartbeat, your Creator for your eyes, the Creator for your ears, the Creator for all the parts of your body that we don't even think about. He deserves to be worshipped. And we know that God is not a man, it's not a woman, it's not Jesus, it's not Muhammad, it's not Moses. That Creator deserves worship. And all the other religions apart from Islam, this is a big statement, but I'm talking as a convert, as a revert. All these other religions like Islam, they tell you to give charity like Islam. They tell you to help the poor like Islam. They tell you to help old people and elderly people and handicapped people like Islam. And help people in general. But the difference is when you take the time out to analyze in detail and research, you'll find they say, there's an all-powerful God that's perfect, but he became a man, but he became a woman. Or they will give that being human attributes. God created the world, then he rested. You know, God forgot, God got tired, God got hungry. So my point is this, yeah? This is not a religious talk. I'm saying to you that, one, all these other religions are calling to worship, create man-made things, or human beings, or idols. Islam's the only one that says worship God, and there's no image of him. Secondly, I know this fashionable thing that's going around nowadays is that I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. And this is a cop-out, I tell you why. I too was going to use this, yes? But what I'm spiritual, I'm not religious really means is that I live my life, I smoke my weed, I go raving, I sleep with different girls. And then when someone in my family gets cancer, or I'm in a car crash, then I call on God. I call on God and I pray and say, oh God, if you help me out of this car crash, or if you save my mum from cancer, then I'll do A, B, and C. And when that problem's solved, then you just go about your life again, smoking, weed, checking girls and so forth. Secondly, I'm spiritual, I don't follow organized religion. No, you do follow organized religion, because you make up your own spirituality, that's rules and laws. And you make it easy for yourself. So to say I'm spiritual and I don't follow organized religion, it's just a cop-out. So I would say to you, if you know there's more to life, then what is it, smoking weed, raving every weekend, checking girls, then read the Quran. And I would say to the women that are watching this, to wrap up, because I'm going to conclude soon, ask yourself, these role models you have, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Stefflon Don or whatever her name is, I want you to ask yourself, yeah, do you really think that imitating these women, yeah, is gonna get you anything more than pregnant and dumped? I'm being serious with you. Because if you walk around with your private parts out, it's like in the media, they only show black people as rappers and criminals, yeah? So when the non-black people keep on seeing us as rappers and criminals and stuff, they have this perception that's all we are. So after a while, when they pass us, yes, whether you're in a suit or a tracksuit, when they see you in a lift, they grab their purse. Because they've been programmed to think that this nigger is a criminal, whether he's wearing a tracksuit or a suit. So same thing to you women. If you keep on showing yourself to society just as breast and private parts and bum, cheeks and this, that and the other and so forth, even though people shouldn't, if people keep on seeing that in the music videos and in the movies and this, that and the other, they're going to stop seeing you as human beings and they're going to start seeing you as body parts. And in your relationships, you will not be treated like a human being. You will be treated, yes, like an object, a sex object. And they will think they're not even in a relationship. They are dating body parts. And they will use you for a few experiences. And when the next better model comes around, they will dump you and jump to the next one. And that's why this beautiful religion has hijab. The reason why we have hijab is because a Muslim woman, she isn't married just for her shape. If she's not praying, if she's not wearing hijab, and the most important thing, if she doesn't understand Tawheed, Islamic monotheism, that God is not a man, God is not a woman, God is not a statue, God is not an animal, then no one's going to marry her. So anyway, all I would say at the end of the day is, if you think there's more to life than music, tunes, smoking, drinking, and living the same day again and again. Rappers Groundhog Day, again and again, the same day, sit down, chatting about rappers beef, chatting about postcodes beef, smoking spliff, watching the same videos again and again. I've been there, hostile life. Take the Quran and read it for yourself. I'm not telling you that because I believe Islam's the truth, you should become a Muslim. I say to you, read the Quran for yourself. Go online, type in the Noble Quran. Read it for free. Go to any mosque, they'll give you a free Quran. Read it and decide for yourself, is this a man? Is this man speaking here? Or is this the Creator speaking to you one-on-one? Because I was raised in a Christian Jamaican family. And I read the Bible. And the Bible is like Mark said to John and Luke said to Mark and Mark said to Luke. When you read the Quran, this is like God and you having a one-on-one talk. And Allah saying, didn't I tell you this? And this is how you act in this situation. And this is how you act in that situation. And when I give man this is how you act. And when I take this away, it's like you're having a conversation one-on-one with God. Not Mark said to Luke and Luke said to Mark and Mark said to Jesus and Paul said to... It's not like third person like that. It's direct one-on-one. And I read this and I read a few pages in jail. And I said, yeah, this ain't man speaking here. So all I said to you, most of you, if you're in your early teens or your early 20s, and this can apply to the Muslims as well, that life of the music videos, it seems exciting. Smoking, drinking, girls, crime, it seems exciting because you haven't done it yet. But when you can do it every week, you got your own place, you can rave, you got money to rave and stuff, and you do it after a few years of doing it, you think this is dead. The girls are fake. They're only there because I'm a bit hench in her vest and she's coming to me. If she didn't, if I wasn't there in that club that week, she would be with someone else. If she didn't see me on a motorbike, this rep I got, If I lose a fight, I'm gonna lose it. It's all fake. So all I say to you, if you know this life is fake, then just read the Quran for yourself and decide whether you believe it's God's speech or whether you believe it's man's speech. And that's all I ask of you. Take care.
Come take over everything from your belly.
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. COE.
We have classes in here. God gave us one.
Man, don't listen to ITV.
We have minerals all over the place. Why should we be paying for it?
COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
I'm pushing to you wrong because Brazilians are improving. We're up again. Listen, I'm not a Brazilian.